Good morning. I just hanging out relaxing this morning. No NBA basketball today. Going to be watching some baseball. There's an NHL hockey game on today. I might check that out. Some UFC fights. Definitely watch those. But this morning, before I get too active on my Saturday, I'm going to watch that ass beating the Mavericks gave the Suns in Game 6. And then I'm going to also watch the Game 6 between the Celtics and the Bucks. But before I got started on that, started thinking about some things, and I just wanted to share my thoughts here, kind of get some feedback from you guys. I think more than anything else in this Game 7, two things are primarily true. This could be the beginning, because a lot of people are saying, I get a lot of vibes that Luka is to the NBA what Patrick Mahomes is to the NFL, meaning that he's so great, so early, that people already want to anoint him as one of the all-time greats. And it's absolutely ridiculous. Patrick Mahomes has more of an argument to be so. I think it's ridiculous already because it's been such a short amount of time, but you cannot deny what the man has already accomplished. Not only does he put up phenomenal regular season numbers and make ridiculous looking throws, the mechanics are spectacular. The guy's won a Super Bowl. The guy consistently gets to AFC championship games. The guy's won an MVP. Luka just won his first playoff series and is trying to win his second one. So let's hold the brakes on that all-time great talk. For a basketball career, it's an all-time great start to a career. There's no question about it. And if titles start to come for Luka, or consistent conference finals appearances, putting up these types of numbers, absolutely, we're potentially looking at an all-time great. But hold the brakes on that. I love the kid. He's spectacular. And I've already said time and time again, in my opinion, he's the second best player in the NBA right now, just behind Giannis Antetokounmpo. And that's not hating. That's not disrespect. That's phenomenal to say in the entire NBA right now, there's only one player better than you. It's just like my argument against LeBron James with Michael Jordan being the greatest of all time. How is it disrespect when I say out of the thousands upon thousands of players that have played NBA basketball, I think there's only one person who's better than you? It's ridiculous. The lengths fans of players will go to say you're disrespecting that player. It's not. Luka's great, but I'm getting a little off track of my topic here. Tomorrow could be the beginning of a legacy-defying moment for Luka Doncic, and it could be what potentially crushes the legacy of Chris Paul, and unfairly so, in my opinion. Chris Paul is an all-time great point guard. There's no question about it. The quintessential point guard for today's NBA. And in my opinion, I've gone back and forth on this time and time again. I think he's the fourth best point guard of all time. In my opinion. I already know some of you watching this right now are saying, oh, he's not even top 5. That's fine. And I had him top 5 before he got to the Phoenix Suns. So it has nothing to do with the Phoenix being on the Phoenix Suns. I think the only 3-point guards, and I'm not taking account Steph Curry, nor do a lot of people when you're talking about point guard, because he plays the point guard position, but his skill set is not necessarily at point guard. If he was 2 or 3 inches taller, he'd be a shooting guard. And if he didn't play with Klay Thompson, he might be shooting guard too. But the only 3-point guards that I would take over Chris Paul all time: Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, and probably Oscar all time. And the reason I'm saying probably, and I kind of paused there, is because I think, and I've been saying it all year long, a title is what is keeping Chris Paul out of the top 3 discussion. I think Chris Paul wins a title this year, you can put him top 3 all time. And it's so hard when you're talking about Chris Paul, and I get it. As much as I love Chris Paul, and I think he's an all-time great point guard, it is so hard because of how players are judged nowadays to not counter in, whether it's for the positive or the negative, postseason success or failures. It's just the way we judge players today, it's almost impossible to not take that into consideration. And Chris Paul, I mean, you can't deny it. There's definitely reasons. I don't like to call them excuses, but there's reasons for why he's come up short in big moments. An undersized point guard like that, who's not the most athletic guy by any stretch of the imagination, the way the playoffs usually break down and happen, and the fact that he already plays at a slow pace and the game gets even slower. You're seeing it right now in this Mavericks series. You started to see it in the Pelicans series. Last year during the NBA Finals, his small body is breaking down the further and deeper into series and the playoff run you go. The 3-1 leads that have been blown, the injuries at the most inconvenient times, but you cannot deny what the man does for teams. I mean, the reason they're in the spots that they're in with opportunities to make deep playoff runs and potentially titles is because of Chris Paul. 4 out of the 5 teams he's been with, while he's at the helm, have franchise record amount of wins. And a lot of people are going to say, well, Houston, that was James Harden's. Yeah, you're right. But tell me this. Without Chris Paul, if you keep Lou Williams, Patrick Beverley, are you winning 60-some games? The year before, they won 55. Great season, great team. But they're not significantly better than that at all if they keep that core together. There's no way around it. Chris Paul, and everyone knows this. Everyone knows this. They're critical because it was like, okay, he's injured again. Everyone knows Chris Paul plays Game 7. The Rockets probably win that series. Like, you'll never be able to convince me otherwise. And I hate playing what-ifs. Like I said in my video I hate playing what-ifs. The fact is, it didn't happen. The Warriors won that series. But the fact that people are overly critical of Chris, it's mind-blowing to me. It's mind-blowing to me, but I could be the most hardened Chris Paul fan like I am, and even I have to admit, the man's perception blowing a 2-0 lead in the NBA Finals last year and blowing a 2-0 lead in the conference semifinals back-to-back years. This is going to hurt his legacy in the minds of a lot of people. I'm not one of them. In my eyes, Chris Paul can only go up at this point. He's where he is. I don't care what happens. But for all Chris Paul has done for the game, for all Chris Paul has done for countless amounts of players and franchises, he deserves his big moment. He deserves his respect. So damn it, CP3, point guard, go out there and take what's yours before you let the young buck take it from you. I believe in Chris Paul. Always have. Always will. And that's the truth. That's my truth. I'll be back with you guys a little later, break down the 2 Game 7s we have tomorrow, and I'll talk to you then. Thanks, guys.